Welcome to the Awakening to Your Soul Self podcast. I'm Cristina, a certified angel messenger, and I'm your host. This podcast, we're going to talk about everything spirituality and the steps that you need to take to awaken to your soul self. In this week's episode, I'm going to talk about my spiritual awakening. My spiritual journey started way back. Growing up, I went to Catholic Sunday school, so I always had that faith and believed in God and a higher power in Jesus. But about sixth grade, I realized that I didn't need to go to church or Sunday school to have faith in God, Jesus, a higher power. So, talking with my family, I decided not to do Catholic Sunday school anymore. But I still prayed every day. I still believed in God and Jesus and a higher power. That just wasn't for me anymore. Let's go back to my childhood, a little bit younger. I always had imaginary friends, and I've heard from other healers, but also my spirit team has verified this for me that having imaginary friends at a young age is talking and seeing angels, guides, and sometimes even loved ones. So I thought this was really validating for me that I wasn't going insane and I was actually communicating and having fun with these imaginary friends that are now known as spirit to me. So let's fast forward a little bit more. I'm going to say this is my teen years where I've always had the ability to kind of feel the room and kind of read people. I just thought this was kind of normal. I thought everybody could kind of read and feel the room. Um, I remember, I don't know, early teens, I would say, my mom's friend went to go see a psychic medium, and I just said, I'll just wait. I don't want to be ready yet. But I've always been interested in psychic mediums, any kind of healing modality. But just for psychic mediums, I just was like, this they want to get too many expectations on what they would say and cling on to them. And if the future didn't come out the way they said it, didn't want to overthink it. Plus, in that time, Long Island Medium was out and that was more relevant. So I didn't want to have high expectations and get low in response. Nevertheless, that I love watching Long Island Medium and any of those medium shows. But it does show, like, yes, she does all these things, but I was like, it's not going to happen for me. So let's fast forward to probably about January, February 2022. I remember vividly coming home from work and just looking up at the sky and being like, God, like, what is my purpose here on earth? It was kind of felt like in a stagnant kind of energy. There's a couple of years after COVID, things have really changed. I had a nice, steady job that I'm still at that I really love. But I just felt like in my heart and my soul that that wasn't my full purpose. So every day I came home from work and I said, God, what is my purpose? About, I want to say 2 or 3 months later, I was doing some spring cleaning in my room. And I usually play like music or ambiance music just to kind of get the chore done. I don't kind of like to be in silence for too long. So I had a thought, which now back looking at it, it wasn't a thought, it was spirit telling me, go find a podcast. And I said, I don't even listen to podcasts. I'm not very auditory, so music is just kind of one of those things that's easier. I don't really have to pay attention to the lyrics or anything. So I put one on and I typed in angels or spirituality, one of those two keywords. First one popped up was Teresa Caputo, and I said, I've watched her show. I follow her on social media. Like, I think I want something different. So the next one that was in was Angels and Awakening by Julie Jancis. And I was like, okay, let's give this one a try. And no joke, I listened to the first episode And I was like, this is what I needed. It was like, I don't even remember which episode it was, but I felt like she was talking to me. And that's how I want this podcast to feel. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep listening. So I was listening for a month or two. And I vividly remember Memorial Weekend of 2022. I kept hearing, when I say I keep hearing, I hear it in my own voice, but it's not me. Kept hearing angel membership, angel membership, angel membership, angel membership. And I was like, oh, this isn't, it's my voice, but it's not me. So I'm like, okay, this must be some kind of sign because I keep seeing it, like hearing it. So what I did is I signed up. I normally don't sign up for memberships and things. I'm selfless, so I always want to give more to people than I want to give myself. I always say, like, do I need this or do I want this? And I didn't felt like I needed it, but I wanted it. So I actually took the leap and I signed up. I purchased her book, Angels and Awakening, and I decided to start my spiritual journey. So I did this till about February of 2023, and I really got a knowingness, but also I just felt like, yes, I'm learning my spiritual gifts and communicating with my spirit team, but I feel like that's not enough. I need to learn more to eventually do this for others. So in February, I was talking to my mom because I've had messages come through for her and my father. And I said, I think I'm ready to take the next step and do her angel Reiki school, which for those of you that don't know what angel Reiki is, it's Reiki with the seven chakras, but you're also giving messages. So when you connect with the crown chakra or the throat chakra or whatever the chakra you're dealing with, certain messages or angels will come through and give messages to the person that you're doing angel Reiki on. So I was like, that's a very interesting spiritual modality. I've always been interested in energy healing and Reiki. Just never felt like that was for me. So I was telling her, and I'm like, well, I don't feel like I'm confident enough in my gifts yet to put myself out there and do that. No joke, like 2, 3 weeks later, spirit team is in my ear again. Angel Reiki school, Angel Reiki school, Angel Reiki school. And I said, spirit team, I don't think I'm ready for that. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I signed up for the March cohort 2023. It's an 8-week program. You practice on volunteers, in person or distance. Mine were more distance. I wasn't fully spiritually out of the closet yet, so I practice on my cohort team, and my gosh, the gifts really come out with that course. And they just grew stronger. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the sign that I needed, that I want to do this for others. Like, I want to keep these gifts for myself. So when I finished the cohort, I decided I'm going to open an LLC. I'm going to start a website, start Instagram. But my egoic mind was fighting me the entire time. Your egoic mind is your human brain. So it took me quite a long time to actually put myself out there. But I just knew, like I knew this is what I needed to do. So now here we are in 2024. I'm starting a podcast almost 2 years later than I started my spiritual awakening. And I just hope to connect with many people on spirituality, angels, guides, and loved ones. I hope this podcast resonates with you. You can find me on CristinaAngelMessenger.com. It's Cristina Angel Messenger. You can also find me on Instagram, Christina Angel Messenger. Next week's podcast, we're going to be talking about oneness, which is the high vibration God's energy. Stay tuned for next Monday, and we will discuss this further. I hope you have a great day, friends.